Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So someone sent me this picture and I'll be showing you how to create this off-shoulder dress with the ruffles. Please keep in mind that we're making an off-shoulder, and if you have been having problems in drafting any off-shoulder at all, this pattern is going to solve your problems today. So without wasting time, let's just jump right into it. So now we're going to be needing 3 core important measurements. These measurements are key when making an off-shoulder. First, we'll be needing our strap to strap measurement. This strap to strap is where one of your bra straps leads to another. So from this point to this point is your strap to strap. For people like at a bust of 36 inches and below, they can use 10 inches. But for above 10 inches or 12 inches, but for above 36 inches, it's advisable to use 12 inches and above. So strap to strap is an important measurement to need. Next, we need our round shoulder measurement, which is going to be here. This is where your off shoulder is actually going to be sitting. So depending on the picture or the way your client wants it, this is where you're going to measure your round shoulder measurement. Some people can want it lower. So now you're going to also need your cleavage measurement. You're going to measure from your client's neck down, directing your tape downwards until she tells you where she wants her cleavage to stop. So that's a very key measurement also. So what you want to do first is trace out your basic bodice pattern, or if you don't have one in hand, you make a new one. I just traced out both my front and basic block. If you've not watched, or if you don't know how to do this, I have a video. I'm going to link it somewhere for you to see it. Check it in the description and you'll see how to make it. After tracing that out, we'll first place in our underbust measurement. We want to first of all begin with the underbust tightening. So we are going to mark our vertical measurement of our shoulder to our underbust. And for our underbust tightening, depending on the size of your client, you're either taking 0.5 inches, 0.75, or then again 1 inch, depending on how busty your client is. I'm just going to be taking in 0.5 inches here and then 0.5 inches here. After doing this, you connect the dart legs to the dart intake to the dart legs. Then taking your pattern master, you will connect this to 1 inch below the bust point with a curve. It's time to do the overhead bust tightening. To do that, you're going to measure your shoulder line and then divide it by 2. You'll make a line from the shoulder point down 6.5 inches. 6.5 inches is okay. Now we came down by 6.5 inches. On this line, we are then going to be coming out. It all depends on the size of your client. We're going to be coming out by 0.7 inches or on both sides. You can make it 0.5, you can make it 0.7, but I'll be taking 0.7 inches. Now we'll be forming our neckline. Please, where you'll be dropping your neckline is you have to have measured it on your client. You measure it from the neckline, from the shoulder point at a diagonal with your tape on where she wants her cleavage to start from. So we're placing our neckline on the chest line. Then using your pattern master, you connect. Now after doing this, remember we took our strap to strap measurement. So now we are using 12 inches for our strap to strap. You will divide it by 2 because we are using a pattern on fold. This our pattern is on fold, so you divide it by 2. You're going to be measuring this line you made here, this broken line you made here. You're going to be measuring the half of your strap to strap measurement. You measure it to this point of where our curve is starting from. Then you remove your tape and measure it also until you get to where it is. Let me show you. So if I'm using the strap to strap of 6 inches for a pattern on fold, I'm going to place my ruler on this line. I'll measure from this point to this point where our curve is starting from. Then I'll take the ruler as well and measure until I get to where our strap to strap will extend to. So this is where our strap to strap is. No need to worry if it comes outside the armhole. We are going to redraw that armhole. We're going to measure from our shoulder slant, our shoulder slope. We're going to measure from our shoulder slope down to our chest line, and we're going to be dividing that by 2. We'll measure it from our chest line and divide it by 2. Just keep that measurement, you just hold that measurement there. And now we're going to be closing this bust dart. To close a dart, you have to open another. So I'm just slashing through my waist dart. So I'm just taping it. If you notice that these lines are not on the same line, no need to worry. You just take your French curve and blend it together. From the shoulder slope to the chest line, and then we divided it by 2. So now, since we are doing an off shoulder, so you can be able to move your hand from the chest line, whatever you got, you're going to measure from the chest line down, and you're going to mark it. What you got, you divide it by 2, measure from the chest line down, and you're going to place a mark. Now we are just going to redraw our armhole. We are going to be connecting this point to this side points here. So before we go to the back, we're going to be folding these necklines together. As you can see, this line is higher than this line, so you just lightly connect it together. This is our front pattern completed. Now let's move on to the back pattern. So for the back pattern, you know we came down by 6.5 inches. We're also going to be doing that, the same thing for here. We are going to be redrawing our darts. These are off shoulders, so by the time you cut the shoulder, the up part out, is going to be loose, so you need to tighten your darts. So I'm going to be extending this dart line, but before then we are going to first find how we want the back neckline to be. From the 6.5 inches, I'm just coming down like 1 inch or 1.5. I'm coming down by 1 inch, and using my pattern master, I'm going to make a slight curve. So now it's time to redraw our armhole, our darts. I'm going to be taking 0.25 inches on both sides of this dot line. I'm taking 0.25 inches on this point and then 0.25 inches on this point as well. I'm going to be folding the dots together so we can redraw our neckline. If we don't do this, you're going to be having a shortage on your dart. If you want this back without a dart, you just fold it this way and cut it this way and end up closing this dart like this with a masking tape, or you can cut it together then tape it together. So now you see this, we're going to make sure these two lines meet. So now we're going to redraw our back armhole. Same thing as you did for the front. You measure from your shoulder slope here to your chest line. Our chest line is here. To your chest line, then divide it by 2. Then from the chest line, you're going to place it downwards. So when you divide it by 2 from the chest line, you're now going to mark and place whatever you get here. You're going to make a line, connect it, and then you're going to redraw your armhole with a slight curve. So this is how our front and back pattern is looking, and with this you're not going to be having any problem anymore with making an off shoulder. This is how it's going to look. So now for the skirt pattern, I'm going to be making a different video for that. Please stay tuned to watch it. Subscribe so you don't miss it. If you have any illustrations, like I always say, my contact is in the description. Send me your illustration and I will show you how to draft them. Thank you.